Welcome back for that threesome. We got Randall and Mac here with Ram Film Reviews. Putting an all-nighter here for you.
Absolutely.
This is going to be our last...
Coffee and all.
Cafecito. Salud.
Salud, salud, salud.
Nice and warm.
So this is going to be a double feature for Ram Film Reviews. Lots of fun that we had with both of these movies. We're going to start with the one that's going to take us the least amount of time to cover. Mostly because we want to cover a lot more on Pumpkinhead. Yeah. But we're going to start with the movie featuring... actually, he's still a current wrestler at the moment.
Okay.
He keeps doing these on and off moments with WWE. We're talking about Goldberg.
Who's next? So, legendary Bill Goldberg. Actually, we came across this film. None of us have heard about it.
Yeah.
Until Rando opened up his horror. What is it? The monthly horror, BAM horror.
Oh yeah, the BAM horror box. That I get monthly, and it always features like an autograph, and it features like artwork done by different artists or something like that, like prints done by different artists. And in this box, it included something relating to this movie. And Mac went ahead and looked into it, and we found out that, holy crap, Bill Goldberg actually I have a good idea for this.
Yeah. Sorry.
Actually is involved in a Christmas movie, and it's not really
jolly.
No,
all
not
that
at
jolly.
All. There's a lot of violence to this movie. There's a lot of death to this movie,
which we loved. It's a different aspect on view of old Saint Nick.
Yep.
You know, his views on on people.
Yep.
The holiday itself, and overall, I wouldn't picture any other, person, actor, wrestler, whatever you want to say, to play this this role.
No, he was perfectly casted for this role.
His one-liners, the jokes, just over the top.
Yeah, it's absolutely nothing but puns. It's absolutely fun. To give you the basic idea of the movie, it's based on an Icelandic Norse mythology tale that's expressed by the grandfather in the movie. Well, he shares a story, but the story ends up being that an angel made a bet with the son of Satan.
Again, another...
Which is... I'm sorry, because I'm remembering something from Flight of the Conchords. Which would be Santa. Because Santa is an anagram
for just
Satan.
As you saw in the opening credits, it did say Satan's.
Yeah.
And then the sleigh part came and crashed and jumbled the words to six.
It made me think of the...
Flight of the Conchords.
Remember the performance, the live show?
Yeah.
And it was that like long Western song.
I remember the song, but the words not. What was it?
Because there's an anagram for...
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, either way, sorry. Yeah. Flight of the Conchords is awesome, and I love them, so it reminded me of that. Anyway, continuing. So, the story goes that the angel made the bet with the son of Satan, and
the bet was...
Yeah.
What's the sport called? Curling?
Yeah, curling.
To see who could... basically, they made a hole in the ice, and see who could throw the curling, I guess, block closest to the edge of it without falling into the water. And okay, I get you. So the old angel, the grandfather and whatnot, won this bet, and old Saint Nick, as ruthless and mean as he was, the bet was to be nice for a whole 1,000 years, which led up to the year 2005, where the movie was released.
Yeah.
Which is a Canadian American. Was it?
Yeah, it's
comedy,
a Canadian
Christmas.
Yeah, his slasher.
Yeah.
Christmas
comedy film.
Comedy film.
Yeah. there is blood. You know, it's not like I said, it's not your typical Hallmark Christmas movie.
Not at all.
Don't watch it with the kiddies, the kiddos. There's nudity in the film.
Yeah, well done, well placed nudity. But yeah, so the story goes along with that. Santa reaches the point where he's finally able to release his full frustrations and his anger for receiving millions upon millions upon millions of letters from kids that all he wanted to do was just kill.
But it literally blow their heads off. If you
Yeah.
get the reference, you'll see it. What we're talking about. So yeah.
No, there were no granny titties in
Santa's sleigh.
Santa's sleigh. No, there was not. Unfortunately,
Not
no.
this time, Ellie.
Not this time.
Thank you for joining us again.
But there are some nice titties.
Yeah, which funny enough, we'll jump just to that fact where the only so basically there's a scene where Bill Goldberg's character Santa goes into a strip club, you know, to kill whoever he needs to kill. And funny enough, the only stripper who's not naked in the film, what is it?
Well, we don't know the name of the strippers, but she's on a swing.
Yeah, it's Wanda Farrington, not Farrington.
Yeah.
Yeah, Farrington.
The funny detail about it would be, they were promoting a primary stripper called Tess Tickler.
Wait, Tess, Tess, Tickler.
Yeah, but obviously, if you say that quick enough, you know, Testickler.
Yeah.
So, she was the one that was primary on the swing, so there was no identifying, but I'm going to imagine that maybe she was Testickler.
No, wait, yeah, possibly yes, because they do reference her later on.
Yeah, they referenced the stripper. They referenced a few strippers, including Candy and a few other fun names. But so there's a scene in here where the stripper on the swing ends up having a swing right into Santa's face, and the reference goes that it was filming that scene, right? Or was it just on random how they met? Or how that happens?
So I think after 3 months of filming, and that scene where she's swinging into Bill Goldberg's.
I mean, I would imagine that scene because that's literally the only scene.
Yeah, Bill Goldberg's face.
Yeah.
And, you know, his face is all up in her crotch. And basically he just smirks at her. But behind the scenes, Bill Goldberg was so nervous doing this scene. He was like, you know, Bill Goldberg's like, what, 6-something? You know who Bill is.
He's a big dude.
So seeing him nervous and, you know, sweating and whatnot, Wanda Farrington was like, "Hey, buddy, you okay?" Like, you know, mainly when I meet guys, they usually buy me a drink, and he just looks up at her. He's like, "I love you," and then later on, they ended up being married.
Yeah.
So it actually changed his life for the better.
Yep. And he looks upon this movie as a life changer for him. Like, he literally uses those words that it changed his life because he ended up meeting the love of his life who turned to be his wife. And how'd they meet? By her swinging her crotch into his face.
Yeah, you never know how you're going to meet that one, but, you know, keep doing you. You might have somebody's crotch in your face. You'll marry them. Ellie said that's so cute. Right?
Yep, it's adorable.
It's a cute, you know.
It's an adorable way to meet your spouse.
Once in a lifetime, you know, story. You know, it's so unique.
Hey, Daddy, how'd you meet Mommy? Well,
she swung that crotch.
She swung that crotch right into my face.
She was being naughty. But yeah, there's certain scenes like these that it's just over the top.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely were aiming to be over the top through the entire film, you know. Like, obviously, none of it was to be taken serious, hence the comedy attachment to it, right? Like, this is why it's considered a comedy, because everything is just pretty much over the top. Even the beginning scene.
Oh yeah,
the beginning scene includes a bunch of big name actors, including Chris Kattan, James Caan,
Fran
Drescher
from The Nanny,
Rebecca Grayheart,
which is an urban legend. Have you seen that?
So many big names, and then they also include a little dog, Miss Scribbles.
A little poodle.
That beginning scene was just fantastic because it's the beginning of seeing Santa unleash all his violence in one household, and he does it excessively, super graphic and super fun.
Yeah, I was surprised the creativity of these kills.
Yeah.
Not fun fact, but it is to us. The first kill, you'll see. I don't want to say it, but the first kill was funny as hell. But it's just
I think we could say it.
Yeah. Okay. So the first kill is not a human, but Mrs. Miss Scribbles, the poodle.
Yeah.
Where Bill Goldberg, he kicks the crap out of the dog. It goes flying, it hits a wall, bounces back, and he just ducks, and it hits the chimney.
Yeah.
Behind fireplace behind him.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. There's what is it? A turkey leg death.
It's
just a bunch of stuff.
They got really creative with the deaths, really. I mean, they honestly got really good with it. James Caan himself was great. And again, it's not a spoiler scene, so that's why I'm okay with like sharing it. But basically, the knives or the utensils on the table get used to pin James Caan to the table, and then he has to be stuck there while the rest of his family is killed. And after they're all dead, he gets turkey drumsticked to death.
Oh, yeah.
Because he grabs the turkey leg, shoves it into the mouth, and then does full-on Joker, Heath Ledger, and...
Yeah, you want to see the pencil disappear type thing?
Yeah.
Smashes his head
only with the
table.
drumstick in the mouth.
Exactly, so...
And put it in the mouth. But yeah, it was, that beginning scene, that introduction to Santa's violence was just fantastically well done and fun. Puns and all. Fun, and nothing but fun. Walking into a strip club and going, ho, ho, hose.
Yeah.
You know?
That scene where Randall just said hose is when a stripper comes topless and just right in front of him, he's under the mistletoe, he just straight up kisses her, and he looks up and she smirks at him, you know, even though he basically like sort of way violated her, but she's into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ellie, you're gonna have a good time watching them titties. It's not granny titties, so it's a better outlook.
Yeah, it's good. It's good perky ones.
Yeah.
But either way, just really fun all in all. And then we also have the fun little like extra of having Debo. A lot of people know him as Debo. Tom Tiny Lister, who unfortunately passed away not too long ago. So rest in peace to Debo.
Yeah, he's credited and the credits as Tiny.
It's not a big scene, but it's fucking fantastically funny.
We didn't expect that. He's
yeah.
Well, I don't want to say who does he play as a character, but you'll see. And it was just funny.
Oh, Ellie likes him perky.
Yes, Ellie, this is why I love you. I like him perky too. But yeah, I think that should do it, maybe.
Well, I mean, I think we wanted to add the detail there. I mean, in total, there are 41 deaths in the movie.
That's crazy.
Including one by bazooka.
Oh my god!
Which was fun. I'm not gonna point out when, but there's a bazooka death.
41. That's a lot. I didn't expect that to be that high.
And then another credit that I wanted to give on this one was the appearance of Saul Rubinek, who is one of my favorites because I love a show called Warehouse 13. Warehouse 13 is about like a warehouse, a government facility where they maintain and keep all artifacts that have supernatural, superpower capabilities to them, or some kind of curse or something attached to it. and they have agents that go hunting around to retrieve them and put them in the warehouse to put them in inventory and keep them in safe hands. Really fun show that I enjoyed for a while. Every time I would watch it, and I would rewatch this a few times because I just really enjoyed the show. And his character in that movie was just, I mean, in that show was just fucking fantastically awesome, and immediately pulled me into him as an actor. And then I followed him into, I forgot what this show was on Amazon, where it was about a Jewish family thing. I forgot what it was, but it's a really good show.
Which in this
show, with Al Pacino in it too.
Which in this movie, Santa Slay plays a Jewish deli owner.
Yeah, a Jewish deli owner. He usually plays Jewish characters because, he's definitely by appearance, alone, and he is in real life, but by appearance alone, definitely gives off that appearance. So, I don't know if that. I mean, I guess we could say typecasted in a way, but even in the show, I can't remember the name of the show, but in the show with Al Pacino, it definitely takes a different turn, but it's amazingly well done. But yeah, I think Santa Slay was just a fun movie, and I think a lot of people would enjoy it. Honestly, it would be an enjoyable movie. It's a good movie to just sit around and watch with, a few friends and buddies, and something not to take serious. Just take a couple of beers and enjoy some fun puns that'll just make you laugh and
high on life, high on some
stuff.
Pine trees. But yeah, Ellie, Bazookas on Christmas.
Yep. So. Yeah, and it definitely is a fun movie. It's definitely a fun movie. One that I would say just don't go in taking it serious, just like Bad Taste. It's not a movie you go in taking serious. You just go ahead and enjoy its fun artistry and what they do to give you a little bit of a fun time. You know?
You just see Bill Goldberg as Santa.
Yeah, that's super.
That's just gonna just
freaking
draw
muscular,
you in itself, but don't expect any over the top acting or anything like that. But I think we should give our rating.
Okay.
You want to go first, or?
Yeah. All right. I'll go first. I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Ooh, close to what I have in mind.
6.5 out of 10. Won't go any higher because obviously the reality, like the acting, isn't like gonna be. It's a fun movie. It's just
satire,
it's a fun movie. It's a satire movie. It's a pun movie. It's not meant to be a high end movie. It's not one of those that's meant to be like above that for me. But I think that's where I would put it as a 6.5.
Nice. My rating is close to that. I'm rating it a 6 out of 10. Had me laughing throughout the whole movie.
Yep.
Just looking at Bill Goldberg as Santa, it's just like, what am I watching? I grew up with this guy, just wrestling, spearing everybody, which I think he does. He does spear.
He does somebody. He does a spear through glass.
Yeah, through the deli counter, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's a fantastic little scene where he goes through and spears. But I mean, usually that happens with wrestler movies, though. I mean, I think the only one, I don't know if he's done it in a movie, because he has done a few movies that were WWE connected. But John Cena, like in any of the movies that he does now, doesn't really do so many like wrestling things. But maybe in the earlier ones that he did under WWE's like production company, maybe some of those might have some of his attitude adjustment. But usually, like when you have one of these movies with one of these wrestlers, they tend to always include one of their finishers into the movie. So it doesn't surprise me that we saw the spear from him. I know we've seen.
Well, he did towards the end of the movie. He did his famous line, which when he pins somebody and he goes, "Who's next?"
Yeah.
He did say that because there's the ending. To me, I feel like there should be a sequel. It was never made.
Yeah, they left it open. They never seemed to pursue it, but they left it very open. But it didn't seem like anything was ever really in the works.
Correct.
Unfortunately, and at this point, I mean, he still looks just that good, though.
Yeah.
Like he looks exactly how he looks now is pretty much how he looked in that fucking movie. Like, that guy does not age
exactly
that much, man. Like he reached that point where we met him in WWE, and he's practically stayed there, and just maybe gained a few gray hairs. But fucking guy looks insanely good.
Exactly. So yeah, overall, I gave it a 6. Randall gives it a 6.5. Fun movie. You have your violence. You have your nudity. You have your one-liners. You have something that came at you like, look, don't take us seriously and enjoy this, this Christmas movie.
And you get to see a gun transformer.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a gun that's not a real gun, but it does fucking transform like a fucking Optimus Prime gun.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's freaking fantastic. Like, again, it was just a fun movie. And if you want to just see 41 Christmas-related deaths, you're going to enjoy it.
And you might even see, instead of Grandma, but Grandpa got run over by a reindeer. But we leave you with that. That was Santa's Sleigh. Now we're going to turn over to
Pumpkinhead.
1988, creature horror killer film, which is super underrated, I believe. Not a lot of people mention it when you say, what's a good horror movie.
It's a great fantasy horror. Like, none of it is really tied into anything real or any actual kind of like mythology, like real mythology. So it becomes that fantasy, but it's that fantasy that, man, like it's really well done, really well placed. It's really good. It's fun. I remember watching this a really long time ago, and I'm talking like years, many years. So I couldn't remember much of it at all. I didn't even remember that the lead actor, which is Lance Henriksen, was the actor in this. And immediately I recognized him because I actually watched Aliens recently.
Yeah, you did.
So as soon as I saw his face, I'm like, oh shit, it's the android from Aliens.
Yeah, Bishop. He was an AVP, Alien vs. Predator.
Yeah, he's in a few of the movies, a few of the Alien franchise movies. He joined in for Aliens to be the actual good android after Ripley's experience with a killer android. So it was fun, like, to get that like moment where I'm like, oh shit, I know this guy, and then re-experience this movie. And in a sense, I was watching it as almost as if I had never seen it, because there's things where I just didn't recall everything. I remember certain here's and there's, but I didn't remember certain things. Like, I didn't remember the witch. I didn't remember the process of all of this. So
yeah, I was telling Randall, I believe it was ahead of its time.
Yeah,
I believe if it came out, let's say in early 90s, late 90s, it would have had more traffic, more fans. It's considered a cult classic now.
Yeah.
Even though the budget was about, what, 4 million?
3.5 million was the budget, which in regards to movie making and filmmaking is considered low budget. And ended up earning a box office of 4.4 million, which, at least is above what they spent. But it wasn't what they felt they were going to get, because they put out a quality movie and you felt like you might get more. And it just didn't take in the box office on when it released.
Yeah.
It became more popular as years went on. The cult began to happen, and now you're seeing more of a following and more people picking these movies up. And to the point where they started making sequels that ended up going all the way to Pumpkinhead 4.
Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy how this movie is so good. Like I said, it's another movie. I mean, I was born in 1990. This was released in 1988. So mind you, mid 90s, I began watching this. I was introduced to Pumpkinhead, and I was just blown away. The creature, the puppetry, just the look of it. Mind you, what's the person's name that worked?
Richard Landon was one of the primary mechanical and special effects engineers in this, and he was also ended up being the person primarily in charge in Jurassic Park. So, and you can see that man, he is a talent. He is such a talent, because what he did in Pumpkinhead, man. Like, you're talking about the 80s, and again, considering we've already experienced Aliens, right? We experienced Alien.
Yeah.
And Alien had good puppetry. The appearance was great, but it didn't really have, like, a lot of movement of the alien, right? It was a lot less of that. It was more like, okay, we're going to shove a puppet into this vent, and then it's just going to stretch arms out for a few times. Like, that was Alien. And then Aliens 2, or Aliens, man, they stepped it up like tenfold. And then you got real fucking puppetry.
Correct.
This is what you get in Pumpkinhead. You get real fucking puppetry. Because when you see this dude walking around, like fucking the scene in the when they're in the cabin and you see them walking across, when you see him walking across the window, like all of that was spectacular. Now,
well, my favorite scene of him, when they catch him up in the tree, with one of the victims, mainly throughout the whole movie, you see him standing up and walking, but in this scene, he's like picture Golem from Lord of the Rings. You know, he's all crouched, and it's like I want more of this sight. It was like a far away frame. But it was so creepy.
That was probably purposeful.
Yeah.
Like the way they shot that was probably purposeful to the puppetry to maintain that realism to it. But before we continue on to specific details, I did want to point out, like, the plot of the story is city kids go to a small town and cause a problem by accidentally killing somebody from the town. And upon that death, revenge is seeked upon the city kids, and hence, here comes Pumpkinhead being called upon. He comes out, and his task is to get vengeance, which is his original real name is Vengeance. That's what he's known as. He is Vengeance the Demon. Original title to or alternate title to the movie, but eventually they went with Pumpkinhead. And the reason they went with Pumpkinhead is because the way you find them is by going to a pumpkin patch that's a cemetery only for Pumpkinhead.
And would you spot his
it looks like a fucking shrine. Like, it looks like a damn pedestal that's been set for this one monster. What I loved about that whole entire scene, and I don't feel like this is spoiling anything, that's true. That's true. That timing was rough. But what I loved about that is when you see the birth, the rebirth, right? So the process of Pumpkinhead coming to life is basically opening the door for him to become alive, and he starts as a child and almost instantly grows into a full-grown 9-foot-tall monster.
Yeah, which reminds me of the process of Pumpkinhead. Let's say when he wakes up, he looks childish.
No, Ellie, please listen. We did research for this too, and we didn't notice that detail ourselves. So like all these like help, because like we said before, like we're not fucking professionals. We are now we see amateurs having fun with this.
Yeah, now we see why they didn't do so good. You said in the beginning of the year they don't do well. Yeah, but I was saying his
even less a horror movie
transition from baby Pumpkinhead, or he's in the fetal position.
Yeah,
when he wakes up, I don't know if you saw this, but it resembled Sam from Trick or Treat.
Yeah,
a little bit when he's unmasked.
So
I like that.
Yeah, because it looked like he had like a bag over his head.
Yeah, exactly.
Burlap, like a burlap sack. It looked like he had burlap sack over his head too, which at the beginning, because it was like all threaded.
Yeah.
Before it like broke open and you reveal the face of baby Pumpkinhead, before he grows into, I mean, man, like what can you compare in monsters to something like that?
I can't. This is unique. This is something people definitely.
Maybe the ones from Signs.
No.
Wait,
the baby. Okay, I thought you meant actual Pumpkinhead.
No. I mean, like the monster size, because the monster size is kind of like.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, because they had that high end shoulder kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like obviously not exact, because so one of the things they did amazingly well with the mechanical features and everything on Pumpkinhead is literally like articulation to the face and the way the face moves, the features that come out. Like, he smiles, he grins.
He speaks, but you gotta really have a good ear to hear him speak.
Yeah. And he only speaks in this film. Like, he doesn't speak in any other films.
The other films, yeah.
But, again, like, just those details. Like, when they did close-ups to the face and he's like, I caught you. Boom. Grin. You're like, holy shit.
He drools. He just slobbers.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Another fact, the actor that was in the costume, was his name Tom Woodruff?
Tom Woodruff.
So basically to keep the costume from wearing and tearing, this poor guy
had to get glued into the costume.
Glued into the costume for about a good 8 hours to shoot, the film.
Yeah.
So imagine that. Who knows what the guy went through, but he stuck with it. He became Pumpkinhead. And that was another thing that surprised me. It just made me love the film even more.
Yeah.
Another thing I love too.
Yeah.
There's a dog in the film.
Gypsy,
yeah, which is Billy Harley's dog.
Billy Harley's dog.
Ed Harley's dog as well.
Yeah.
And what I loved about reading up on the movie was 4 years prior to Pumpkinhead, a 1984, I guess you could say Christmas movie too, Gremlins, directed by Tim Burton, was it? Or Steven Spielberg, I'm so sorry. Steven Spielberg.
I was going to say, I don't remember Gremlins being a Burton movie.
Steven Spielberg, I'm sorry. So, that dog in the Gremlins called Barney is the same dog, Gypsy, in Pumpkinhead's 1988. So, that was awesome, Especially with dogs. I love dogs. So
even awesome. More so like when you're a fan of like these kind of horror style movies, even though Gremlins falls into that almost kind of like comedic line too, but it is technically a horror film. Right? It falls in line with that realm. Yeah. But knowing that this dog was connected in more than one is always fun.
Yeah, Ellie, 8 hours.
Yeah, 8 hours is fucking crazy.
That's incredible.
You're talking about, like, how does that guy handle his bathroom breaks? That means you're staying in that thing for your full shoot length. Your full shoot length is in costume. And that is extremely bad. And he would take 3 hours. No, was it? No, he wasn't 3 hours. That was Haggis. And so that was the other thing. So talking about costumes. Florence, Schaefer, right? Florence Schaefer, who played Haggis, the witch in the movie, who is the witch who brings Pumpkinhead to life, is also in costume.
Which is surprising because in my head, I was like, she's just wearing a dress. Nope. Take it away, yeah.
Full-on costume that weighed 65 fucking pounds. And it kind of makes sense in a way because you see her when she's standing up. There's a lot more to her, but the thing is all the prosthetic and kind of makeup and things like that they added to create. When you see at Florence's face, and what you would imagine, like judging by her age or anything, like she shouldn't have looked the way she looked. Like she wasn't like that super old lady who's supposed to look that like haggard, that beaten up, and this woman was. This would be identified immediately. Like that's a witch. Put her on the stake. Like that was instantaneous. Exactly. Like there was no doubt. She didn't have to speak. You just knew. But yeah, like it's 65 pounds of makeup and costume on this lady to perform this wonderful, well played role of Haggis that she owns completely. Because the scene with her and Ed Harley was fucking great. Like
exactly, her voice and like the way she spoke, it was like, get me the fuck out of here. Type thing. So yeah, Randall. So question: since her makeup took about 3 hours, compared to Tom Woodruff, 8 hours, and plus the costume was 9.
He was 8 hours in it.
Oh, in it.
She took 3 hours to be in makeup. I don't think he would take that long because it's costume.
Yeah.
So he's not showing any features of himself.
But what would you think you could handle?
Oh.
Because then again, remember the Pumpkinhead costume is 9 feet tall, so let's give or take.
And he was more than likely on stilts.
Yeah,
right?
let's say he's about 6 foot tall. He's standing on 3 feet, possibly. So 8 hours in a costume, or 3 hours makeup and wearing a 65-pound. Mind you, you're a woman.
I think I'd rather withstand the.
Not saying women are delicate or anything like that, but a 65 pound costume, like
That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot for a guy.
either way, yeah, and just
That's a lot for a guy.
I wonder how she moved around. Did she, she usually was sitting down.
Yeah,
and throughout the movie.
there was only like one scene where she was like standing up and walking around.
Yeah, that's a workout in itself.
Yeah. See, that makes me change my opinion a little bit.
Yeah, so
because she didn't have to do so much movement. If I had to do more movement in the makeup, then I would choose the costume.
Well, then again, there's one of the scenes she is in the graveyard, with a shovel.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that was a stunt double or somebody, covering for her, or maybe her. Or
how they handled it, how they handled it costume wise, since it was kind of a short scene. So depending on what they had to do. I think I take the 3-hour makeup.
But then again,
the 65 pounds, mainly because of the way her scenes are handled. If all you have to do is just move around like once or twice in the movie with the 65 pounds, and it's not that bad. 3 hours in a chair is pretty fucking painful, though.
But then again, look at was it Jim Carrey for The Grinch? I think it was like 7 hours or so.
Yeah, no, there's been a lot of people who stay a lot longer.
He did some military training to withstand that patience. Yeah. So imagine 3 hours. Damn. What else will we talk about?
I mean, there's a lot of details with this that came about. So, looking up more information on Lance Henriksen, we found out that upon like reading the script and working on like doing his reads and stuff like that, he got to the scene which includes his son, which this ends up kind of leading to what happened. His son is laying next to him, deceased, and the son wakes up and says to him, like, "Daddy, what'd you do?"
Yeah.
And that scene was powerful enough for Lance to be like, I want to be the main guy in this movie.
Jump on board, that's who I'm playing.
Yeah. So he wanted to be the dad that has to deal with that scene and play that role. And really, like, that scene, that line, it hit. Like, right away.
You should have seen us.
Yeah. Once that line came out, we were like, oh.
They should have seen us when the death of Billy.
Yeah.
I didn't say nothing. I was just in my seat.
Yeah, like, that one.
I saw Randall. He kept looking like towards my Armando's way and my way.
Yeah.
But nobody said anything. We were quiet. We're in the moment.
Yeah.
You felt it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it hits. It's a moment that hits hard.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have children. Randall doesn't. Armando has the child, so I can imagine. Who knows his perspective on it?
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll get it next time he's around. But yeah, it's a really emotional scene. Like damn, he took it out.
Yeah.
He hit the ballpark with that.
Yeah,
is that a saying? Hit the ballpark with? I don't know.
But, he hit it out of the park.
There you go, out of the park.
Or out of the ballpark.
Out of the ballpark.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was really well done. They added that sense of anguish from a parental level.
Mm-hmm.
And enough where even whether you are a parent or not, it's still one of those scenes that just is heart-wrenching when you experience it, and leads you to understand him wanting to fulfill vengeance upon those who caused him this great pain.
Yeah, it's also too so basically when you conjure, Pumpkinhead, basically, where should I spoil it or not? The link,
The what?
I mean,
oh yeah. I mean, I think.
Nah, I'll leave it for you to watch it. But when you conjure it, you pay a heavy price, basically.
Yeah, and it is warned upon you. It is warned that basically the warning is like when you conjure him, you're going to hell. Basically, it's kind of like the way they express it. Mm-hmm. It's like if you wake that up, you're going to hell. Yeah. And we can say enough to say that Ed Harley definitely feels regret for his decisions.
Yeah, exactly. It was just impulse decision.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back at you for killing my son.
Yeah.
Then when he truly sees what's been going on,
You know what's the other part about that?
Yeah.
Is he never truly finds out the details. Because even at the part where the girl tries to explain it to him and says it was an accident, his response was, "You left him for dead," or "You left him dead,"
basically,
which really wasn't true yet.
Basically, I think that since it was a group of them,
Yeah.
only one stayed behind. So maybe that, in that sense, like they didn't rush into the hospital or whatnot.
But he didn't wait to find out. Like the details there would have been like, we went to try and find help. We wanted to call.
They did.
We wanted to try and make a phone call. It was an accident because he was. I think this is fine to say. He was chasing the dog, and the dog led him to the way to the pathway of pain, and eventually death. So it was an unavoidable, inevitable, and accidental death. And the dad Ed Harley never really got to understand that, even if he felt regret over conjuring Pumpkinhead. It wasn't for the reason of maybe I was wrong because these kids didn't do something maliciously. It was his intent was more out of his grief.
Correct. Okay. Let me see.
And then the last couple of details that I think we should point out was the screenwriters. The screenwriters, Mark Patrick Carducci and Gary Giuliani, were both influenced by one of my new favorite kind of directors. I've fallen head over heels for giallo films and Italian horror. Like it's ever since I got introduced to Argento through Mack. Like he introduces me to Demons, and then Demons opens the door to a bunch of other Italian horror directors, and then Angel from Retroitis or Funknacious introduces me to the Fangoria list of 300, which included a bunch of Italian horror films. And you get introduced to one specific name, and that is Mario Bava. Mario Bava is fucking spectacular. And he was one of the main inspirations for the screenwriters, and I can definitely tell that it gives that vibe too. Like that, aside from the monster, because Italian horrors don't really do monsters except for like demons, but definitely that feel of the way things were written and the way some of these chase scenes and stuff like that happened had that kind of Italian horror vibe to it. So I can see that kind of pathway that was opened up with the inspiration of Mario Bava. And I thought that was a neat little thing. And I think there's one that you would want to point out because you found out a detail connected to the lovely mask that I have behind here.
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I had a blank moment.
Yeah.
So there's a scene where after the death of Billy Hardy is shown, kids freak out. So these are teenagers, just some of them are drunk under influence. So they go to seek help and get a phone, which is a pretty, say about a few miles away. They go to their cabin where they're staying at, which surprisingly is the same cabin which is used in Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and it's Jarvis's house. So instantly I was like, yes, these horror film connections is just makes me love the genre even more.
Yeah.
And how they just reuse certain sets and props from each other.
Yeah.
So I could just imagine the love and the community within one another. Another awesome thing, the origin of Pumpkinhead comes from an actual poem.
Yep.
Written by a Mr. Ed Justin.
Yeah, and including the poem has part of presence in the movie itself. When there's a family called the Wallace family, and they look like your generic kind of hillbilly family. And they start teasing one of their young little brothers with a sing-songy version of part of the poem, which is calling upon like Pumpkinhead's gonna get you, Pumpkinhead's gonna rip your head off type of
which
thing.
was awesome because I told Randall, I was like, does this remind you of a certain scene from a horror slasher film?
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, Halloween, the original 1978.
The boogeyman's gonna get you.
Yeah, where was it Tommy?
Boogeyman.
He's carrying the pumpkin and the little kids are bullying him, you know.
Yeah.
The boogeyman's gonna get you. So that type of sing-song, bulliness. So yeah, and so we just found out too, one of the Wallace's kids. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's Mayim Bikali, right? Mayim Bikali. Biakali.
From
Biakali from
The Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. And I don't know if she still is or not, but she's supposed to be one of the new hosts for Jeopardy.
Oh, nice.
In the replacement, searching the new replacements for Alex Trebek after he passed away. She was one of the hosts that came on as a guest host to fill in the spots, and they were trying to decide on one of the final hosts, and she was in that running, and she got selected as one of the hosts.
I'm glad, man. She's a super intelligent woman, like phenomenal. She has a lot of potential for a lot of things. And
no, she's a great actress, and even though she didn't have like a major role in this movie, but in the end, you know, it's what opens the doors to get you out there, and you know, you go from being one of these kids in a movie where you're just considered Wallace kid number 2, to where you're at now. So it's great to see when some of these actors grow from it, and they're not the leads in these movies, but they grow to become, you know, something a lot bigger. But you know, the movie in general just had so much fun. It's not that many killings, it's not that many deaths. It's only 7 in total deaths in the movie. 5 of them are caused by Pumpkinhead himself. But there's a lot of suspense in the movie. There's a lot of fun moments with how Pumpkinhead teases and plays with his prey. You know, he does a lot of fun things that just makes it much more of an enjoyable movie. And again, it's like he got birthed from a baby, became like a tall teenage kid basically. And he was just like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm playing with you. And it's
think about, let's say, a horror version of Groot. You want to say, you know, Groot, he's all childish. But like Randall's saying, there is a funny scene with one of the victims where he just places her face against the window and just like, you know, toys with her head.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the poem by Ed Justin. So it is titled Pumpkinhead, but it has nothing to do with the demon or anything like that, or its looks.
Yeah.
The looks itself is just I believe, what's his name? One of the people that worked in the film, they just started working on like the director gave freedom to like just come up with its look.
Well, the entire effects team. Including Richard Landon, played the part in constructing what became Pumpkinhead in the movie. So, there was no details to the features. So they were like, okay, let's make this tall, 9-foot, pale ass looking thing that has a lot of realistic features and drools and all this stuff. But all of that was literally created for the movie. Like it had no backstory when it comes to appearance.
But the main thing was they didn't want this creature to have an actual pumpkin resemblance. Yeah. Pumpkinhead, actually.
Yeah. That might have made this movie. You know what? I think that was always like the fear. Before I finally got to watch the movie, one of my fears was thinking that this monster was just going to be like the Power Rangers fucking villain with the big pumpkin and tentacle vines and shit like that. Like, that's what I imagined I was going to see.
Just make my babies grow or something.
Yeah, I just figured it was going to be something like that. And, you know, to great, you know, lengths that they went to create something not like that. And such a wonderful, like, creation that they made when it comes to the monster in this movie. Like, again, they knocked it out the fucking park so well with this one.
Another thing to add before I ask you a question about the film, which I always like to interact one another if we put ourselves in the position of certain characters or whatnot in the movie. Another thing I liked about the Pumpkinhead character, when his presence is known and shown on camera, it's always thundering, the wind is howling, it's just the eerie presence. So we're thinking that, like, does his presence, does he have this power of conjuring thunder, lightning, all this, or is just a coincidence?
I mean, it always ties into like that evil behavior, right? Like anytime demonic presences occur, and you get that in movies a lot, right? Like weather changes, the animals were reacting, right? All the dogs would react and start like getting aggressive, not only with the monster himself, but also with the connection. So there's a lot to it. I'm not gonna give those details out, but there's a lot to it where you start seeing that the animals react to the presence of the demonic arrival of Pumpkinhead, because he is demonic, and that is introduced as him being a demonic kind of like creature. So I feel like it's probably like a tie into the evil, demonic presence brings on dark and ugly weather, and shit like that, you know.
And so if you're wondering, you know,
kind of like Poltergeist, you know, like
true. So if you're wondering, like, who does Pumpkinhead come after? Like Randall was saying earlier, it's anybody that the conjurer
seeks vengeance
on, and if you interfere with his killings, if you try to help the victims, he will come after you. So that said, I was like gonna ask Randall. Let's put ourselves in one of the hillbillies, I guess you could say, one of the townspeople. You're in your room, you're in your house. You know, Pumpkinhead is out and about killing those people that hurt, you know, killed somebody. And then you hear knocking, you hear screaming, Randall, it's, you know, it's Joe Bob, help me. What would you do?
Am I gonna be Joe Bob like that, man?
Well, Joe Bob
I like the light striving.
We love him. We love Joe Bob. We love you, Joe. Big influencer. But would you assist him or not? Knowing the fact that, say, you do have a wife, you do have kids, would you put your family's life at stake to save this neighbor you've known X amount of years?
In the words of Letterkenny, hard no. I would listen. It's gonna be rough, and it'll weigh on anybody's shoulders that if you have to be the person to deny entry or assistance to a person who's literally running away from a demon that's looking to kill him. But knowing the backstory, knowing the history, knowing that your involvement immediately opens the door for you to receive equal retribution upon you. Like, I consider my family and my people in that moment and not wanting to put them in harm's way first. And I think that mentality, it sucks to have that mentality, but that mentality where you have to, like, listen, if you did something bad enough where somebody called this dude after you, then you done fucked up.
Yeah, so it's that whole saying, you know, kill thousands to save millions. Would you say that? Like, kill this one person.
God, those sayings, those are rough.
Save, because, you know, save the whole family.
That's where we go into, like, the argument of, like, Avengers with, like, Thanos. You know, like, his whole mentality is, we're gonna remove half the population to save the world and save the rest of the population. Because if we keep on this path, we're all just gonna die. We're gonna run out of food. We're gonna kill the earth. All this stuff. Like, that's the mentality Thanos carries. Now, is that the right mentality to carry, or is your mentality supposed to be fix the problem in other ways? Obviously, that's a larger, grand scale kind of view compared to 5 kids that accidentally killed a child. But man, it makes it rough to put it in that scape of the kill thousands to save millions. But in the scenario of this movie,
Yeah.
hard no.
Good answer. Good answer.
Hard no. I'm gonna be. I'm sorry. May whatever place I go to after my death forgive me.
Mind you,
But yeah.
so basically, Pumpkinhead is this legend.
Ellie, philosophical horror hour. It got deep.
P double H, you know what I'm saying? So, so you got this legend. Let's say you're one of the townspeople. You have this legend, Pumpkinhead. You don't know what it looks like because not everybody knows or has gotten a sight of Pumpkinhead and lived to tell the tale.
Yeah.
Unlike the character
Ed Hardy.
Ed Harley.
Yeah, Ed Harley.
Saw
as a child, witnessed a Pumpkinhead death or a Pumpkinhead
sight and death.
Viewed him killing somebody. So he knew of the existence and understood that he existed for real. That it wasn't just a myth, and it wasn't like just playful, things that they say on the playground.
Yeah, to scare the kids and whatnot. So. Yeah. Mind you that, let's say, you're an adult, you've heard the tall tale.
Yeah.
Still, it's like, I'm not going to risk my own life and my family's life, just for your mistake, your accidental mistake or whatnot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, even though it would hurt to deny that person, if it's, even a loved one or family or, friend or whatnot, yeah, it'll still be a no for me.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just that, man. It's the understanding and realization that literally opening that door and opening that help, unless you know of a better way to actually stop the damn thing, getting involved,
you wouldn't know until it's too late.
Yeah. By the time you find that out, and the only way to find that out is by being directly involved in the process. So, not just anybody would know.
And which Haggis definitely tells them beforehand, foreshadowing, I believe.
Yeah, she tells them in an indiscreet, but read through the lines kind of way. You know what she did? She said you should have read the fine print. That's what she did. She said you should have read the fine print. I'm sorry, you didn't read the fine print. You need to figure your shit out. And by the time he figures his shit out, the survivor list is very low. But in the end, the cast did a great job. I felt like it was really well done by all the actors. Like the guy who played the brother Joel, who ends up being the primary target because he was the one who actually killed Billy.
Yeah, the cause of Billy's death.
Yeah.
Which was fun. Armando pointed it out. So not everybody was on board to flee, to, get the hell out of there and leave the kid behind. So the kids actually trying to help and, feel sorry for what happened. They're the ones that, Pumpkinhead takes out first, which was like, holy shit.
His brother Steve. Yeah, his brother Steve was the one who ended up staying with Billy after he got hit. And was basically on his deathbed. We didn't know at the time he was going to die, but he was on the deathbed basically. He was still alive at the time. Wanted to do the right thing. Definitely wanted to do the right thing.
So that's another, I guess you could say, would you say life lesson, or just life doesn't care if you help or not? Your time is your time. In the sense of speaking death, then definitely it's like. In those moments, it's like, listen, it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna be poignant. It's gonna be, it is what it is type of situation, right? Like, do you, be you, and whatever's coming to you will come to you, and that's just the way you gotta live it, right? And again, philosophical, right? Like, I'm getting all deep in this shit now. PHH or
but I mean that's the way that I look at shit. That's regardless,
the way the cookie crumbles. Yeah.
I always look at life like, listen, and I tell Mac all the time, like, my motivation with this is wanting to spend quality time with one of my friends, clear our mental space and have fun and enjoy it. It's not because I feel like this is a positive nature for me because it's gonna give me some kind of futuristic like retribution. Like, no, I don't, like, that part doesn't fucking matter. Like, my part here is like Mac is a really fucking great friend and I want to do this shit with him. So that's where it goes. And there is no other idea to that, or no other, like, you know, thing that I'm trying to like find in that. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, Ellie.
Yeah, right, Ellie.
Ellie's the one hanging out.
She's like, what the hell? What happened here? Sorry.
Since this is a new page and since we are still building, it takes time for Instagram to allow you to have the 3 full hours of straight IG live. Mm-hmm. So we have to keep you know, doing more posts, getting more of you to share and pick up more followers and stuff like that, so we can actually have the full extent of IG live benefits. Which is another reason why I want to go to Twitch, because, man, that annoys me. Yeah. That I can go on my page and go. Actually, I think on my page I do 4 hours, so I think it's fucking 4 hours I can do straight. And here we can only do 1, which also lets us know we just talked a fucking hour about this.
Which is it's just amazing, you know. Not a lot of people do this, and like I was adding to when we got cut. Yeah. Well, Randall was saying that, you know, that he's doing this with me, and you know, it just happens how it happens. Because before this, I had 2 friends of mine, 2 buddies of mine, that came up to me, Mac, you know, I want to podcast with you. I want to talk movies with you. And me being the shy person I am, I was like, nah, I'm not the right person. And then Randall comes up to me and it just clicked, and I was just...
You know, the funniest way, and like now this is going to become a whole different thing. So the funniest way of this, how it happened, right? It was like on a random day, like, was it texting you or was it calling? No, we were on the phone, right? Yeah, I think we were on the phone talking, and all of a sudden I just go to you. It was like, yo, I think we can do this. Like, I think I want to talk movies with you.
Yeah,
like,
we were talking about movies just on the phone and shit, just, you know, shooting crap.
Yeah. And it was just one of those instances where I was like, man, I think we should do this shit like live. I think we'd be good at doing this live. And Mac immediately was like, you know what? I actually was thinking the same shit. And I was like, yo, fuck, man. Like, that's more of that door of, like, that realization, like, that the comfortability and the chemistry and the friendship and everything was in a place where, you know, I'm able to get him to, like, feel comfortable and feel cool in a space like this, and share and open up more and discuss movies to this level. And not only that, like, you don't understand, like, behind the scenes, Matt goes deep into, like, mini research mode. Like, he immediately, like, he's like, all right, damn, oh, that's a cool footnote, and this, I'm seeing the effort and the want that he wants with this too, and that's more of that motivator. And that's why I'm saying, like, again, with these with these things, it's, and going to what we were talking about in the movie, that it doesn't matter, like, if the what you're doing is the good or the bad, that's not going to change anything. Like, that's the way that I view this shit. Like, it's the way I told him was like, listen, man, whether this goes great, whether it just stays average, whether we just get fucking 5 people who watch us for the next, like, fucking years.
Look how happy we are just to have Ellie, just to have you here. Like, I'm fucking ecstatic. Yeah. Just, you know, you're talking to us. You gave us little facts. Yeah. You know, we're opening doors to you. You're gonna open doors to us.
That's enough.
You know, we're gonna have you here one day, and it's gonna be amazing. And yeah, like I said, it just worked out. Like I said, my movie collection, you know, we're watching them. Randall's already collecting. Like I said, thanks to streaming services as well. Thanks to Placata, like, we have this, you know, Monsters of the Night banners. It just works out, you know. It's just go with it, you know. I'm learning from this experience. Yeah. Opening myself up as an individual, instead of being in my head. You know, like I said, we include a lot of mental health awareness with one another. Yeah. So.
And thank you, Ellie. Appreciate it. You are awesome as well. You know, which is, you know, one of the things that brings more joy to us. So we have people that that we know and love and care about that, you know, join in and enjoy this with us. You know, because we've already had Angel pop in for a few. Obviously, we had Armando pop in to the point not only did he pop in the chat, but he popped in into the actual, you know, show itself and participated with us to the level of, you know, not only joining in for one movie, but joining in for a few and even recommending and all that.
Yeah, wanting, yeah, guys, let's hang out. Look, let's watch this movie. It's like, oh shit, you know, like it's not just us two. You know, it's just a lot of people.
Ellie, I think what that is just because we're just like talking shit. It's like the hangout, you know. It's not like we're trying to take this shit too literal, or we're not trying to be like you know, the Rotten Tomatoes critic. We're not trying to be that person. We're just being real genuine with how we view and feel these films. And obviously, me and Max share a lot of like similar tastes with a few things in a lot of these movies that we watched. But there are moments that we're gonna be like, yeah, no, I don't like that shit, and that's gonna fucking happen. And that's what I feel is like genuine with this shit, because it's not gonna be like, oh, Mac, you should go high on this one. Like, I'm never gonna do that shit. He's not gonna do that shit to me. We're just gonna be honest with how we feel about it.
Yeah, and if our ratings come about at the same number or close to it, that's just like I said, we have a lot of the similar tastes.
Yeah.
But we are gonna disagree. Like I said, my musical taste on movies. Yeah. But I told him one day, I was like, hey, I think I'm ready to watch a musical.
Yeah. We have to pick the right one, though.
You know, and like this is
which is the one that you mentioned that we might watch? Because it's horror themed.
Repo Man, was it?
Yeah, Repo Man.
Possibly.
Because I don't think I've seen Repo Man.
And then my whole Nightmare Before Christmas hatred. I just say that because I've tried watching.
I mean,
this
but
film.
Nightmare Before Christmas is a Disney thing, so I can understand why that one's a little bit more problematic. I mean, okay, but one of my biggest loves is one of his biggest pains, and that was Sweeney Todd. I fucking love Sweeney Todd. Like, I can recite the songs by memory. I fucking love it. Like, I will sing Meat Pies of London, like, all day. But Mac literally wanted to throw up every single scene.
And I actually bought the movie twice, not knowing I owned it. It was $1 each. But still, I tried to make the effort in watching it. But
I think one of your biggest grievances was the fact that it took like an hour to get to the first kill, right?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, because I already knew it was a musical. So
I mean, it starts off with singing. Like literally, the first thing that happens is a song.
So once that happens, I was just like, oh my god, cringe, just stick through it. Oh my god. Yeah. You know, I love it. I love this.
This is how much I love Sweeney Todd. So I have Sweeney Todd on vinyl. I have it on DVD. I have, the soundtrack. I actually have 2 soundtracks of Sweeney Todd. Thanks to Angel from Retritis, now have the book that has literal lyrics and music notes for the songs. I have a book. I've been to like fucking 3 stage performances, including one where I was in the front row and I was singing so much that the fucking character artist was like singing with me. Like, that's how much I love that movie.
He directed.
Like, I was in the front row.
He directed
he's singing one of the songs and he's singing with me and he's like looking at me and he's like, yeah, all right, that's cool. Awesome. So that's how much I enjoy Sweeney Todd, Demon
Barber. Yeah. See, even I know little things about it, but still, it's just the barber of Fleet Street.
The Demon Barber from Fleet Street. Yeah.
So it's just, I know it's gonna grow on me. Knowing
Ellie said she wanted to get that book.
Knowing that he loves it, so grow on me.
I mean, he took the shot on it, and I appreciated that more than anything, you know. And again, I tell people, like, I know it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that happens with a lot of fucking movies. Like, I can tell people that, you know, Evil Dead is a fucking fantastic piece of fucking movie for me, but I know there's people who will watch that movie and be like, this is just ridiculous trash. Because Ash is so over the top. His acting is a whole different level. And that's fine. Like, it's not for everybody. It's not. And that's just the way it is. And it happens with musicals. I'm a fucking big fan of Broadway. I'm a big fan of operas. I'm a big fan of all this, like, weird shit that not everybody's a fan of. And I'm okay with knowing that there's people who aren't a fan. So I appreciate the fact that Mac is honest with me and tell me, like, hey, I just don't fucking like musicals like that. but went ahead and gave it a shot anyway. Just like if somebody tells me, like, take a shot at watching something that I might not like, or an actor I might not be fond of, or whatever, I'm gonna watch it because, you know, it's gonna be trying to see if maybe I see what they see. Maybe if it may be like Max says, it'll grow on you. Maybe it'll hit in a different way.
Maybe it won't. You will hate it the same, or you hate it even more.
Yeah.
But you gave it a shot, and that's the best you can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we should end it at that.
Yeah.
Ellie, if not, we will be here all morning.
Yeah, no, this thing.
It's already 4:20 in the morning, but we should give our final rating on Pumpkinhead.
Oh yeah, we never actually gave a rating,
No, we
right?
didn't.
Yeah, we just completely went off the rails.
So, again, like, I know these are my personal collection films, but you know, it's a movie the audio, you guys, the fans, chose.
Again, it's your honest, heartfelt rating for the movie.
You know, again, I believe it was ahead of its time. Again, with the budget, you know how it's low budget, even though it's 3.4 million and whatnot. It seems a lot, but movie-wise, production, all that, it wasn't. So if they would have had a bigger budget, I know this movie would have been up there. Let's say creature-wise. Jesus Christ.
It'd be up there.
I mean,
it would definitely be up.
I mean,
there.
I can't compare it to anything else, but it'll be up there. Even with its low budget, look at it, it's a cult classic. And actually, movies referenced Pumpkinhead when they want to see how they could work, have a low budget film and make it a masterpiece.
Yeah, how to be effective with a low budget.
Effective with a low budget. You know.
I mean, it's such an inspiration that you have an artist named Pumpkinhead, and then you also have the Misfits that have a song called Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
Like it became such a cult classic that it became part of pop culture fully.
The underground hip hop artist.
Yeah.
He took the name Pumpkinhead from this movie.
Yeah.
So, like I said,
I mean, there's a lot of understanding to the level that this movie is, and what it should have been. Honestly, what it should have been upon original release. But things happen. Things happen for a reason.
And the whole fact that it came from a poem.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like mind blowing. Like, you know, a poem that didn't have no reference to a demon or to revenge or death. Death, I don't know, but revenge and whatnot. But overall, I'm gonna say a 7.5. I was battling between that or an 8, but I'm gonna say a 7.5. Like I said, the creature, the look of it is just amazing. The actors were dope. I just know it could have been better with more money into it. But, you know, I might move that into an 8, but I'll stick with a 7.5. What about you, Randall?
I was actually thinking 8. And the main reason, is the puppetry work. The puppetry work.
Yeah, while Randall's reviewing, let me show you a closer look.
And the performance by Lance Henriksen. Lance Henriksen really knocked it out the park as Ed Harley.
So, the cover doesn't do the justice of the actual creature, Pumpkinhead. Like I said, this is the collector's edition released in 2008. But, yeah, continue, Randall, I'm sorry.
So, yeah, like he said, like the cover art just kind of gives you a little bit of an example of the details on the features. And then you see here the back cover kind of gives you a little bit more of the visual. But I'm telling you, for real, like, it is worth the watch. Yeah, for me, I lay it at an 8/10. I love the kind of Pet Sematary kind of vibe to it.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of Poltergeist kind of vibe to it. A little bit of, like, Evil Dead to it. Like, there's so many, like, kind of comparisons with all of that 80s horror type of thing. And then, like you said, ahead of its time when it comes to the mechanical puppetry and all that kind of shit that they did. The special effects, with that low of a budget, they worked fucking wonders.
Let's say, since we've done you know, we were talking about Peter Jackson's The Evil Dead, bad taste. You know, let's say this is what's his the publisher name? The guy that did
Richard Landon.
Richard Landon. Let's say that this is his bad taste, and then, you know, Jurassic Park, the Alien Queen.
Yeah.
You know, that's his Dead Alive. So,
Yeah.
you know, this is like I said, Pumpkinhead should definitely get another reboot. I hope. Wait, were they talking about one? Yeah.
Yeah,
they were talking about
it was in the works.
In 2017, they were going to start filming and scripting, but as of yet, they haven't had any update.
I mean, things get optioned a lot, and things get worked around a lot. Scripts move from company to company, trying to see where it lands. Like, it happens with a lot of these things. That's why I never too much buy into hype of things until there's actually something legitimately happening. Like, for example, like we were talking earlier, Cowboy Bebop is one of those things. Like, Cowboy Bebop, Keanu Reeves has been trying to do fucking Cowboy Bebop for like 10 fucking years. And he wanted to be Spike. Like, that was the point. He loves Cowboy Bebop and wanted to play the role of Spike, and it never came to be. And now we're finally getting it. It's been casted. It's being shot. Everything is being done with I forget his name, his real name, but he's Harold from Harold and Kumar. He's playing Spike in that movie, and the cast looks fucking great. I know there's a lot of like little controversy or whatever with some of the casting choices, but I'm always the one for these things that I like to wait till I see it before I judge it, because people just jump way ahead of their fucking time with this, like how people jump with Robert Pattinson with the Batman. You know, they're immediately saying, "Oh, we don't want a glittery fucking vampire bat." That's not what the fuck you're gonna get. Including, did you hear the news about the Batman? No. There's a lot of rumors going around that it's more of a horror film.
What?
They're saying that the Batman movie has a lot of horror film-esque to it. So it's a lot of the early feel about it. So that caught my eye even more. I'm like, I'm already interested in the movie because experiencing Robert Pattinson in The Lighthouse, and there's a few other movies that he's done that he does independent shit or shit that's outside. And Lighthouse is with A24, and A24 is one of my favorite fucking production companies. The guy does really good work. He's not just a glittery vampire. He does really good work, and people don't see that. It's like what we were talking about with like Harry Potter.
Yeah,
right.
Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah.
A lot of people pinned him as, oh, he's only going to be the wizard boy for the rest of his life.
Which, yeah, I did picture him like that. Just, you know, he's just a fucking, you know, fucking geeky wizard guy. But I remember I was like, hey, I watched Torrance, The Woman in Black. And I was like, shit, you know, he could actually, you know, do stuff out of the...
There's another one that he does with guns that are stuck to his hands. I can't remember what it's called.
I've seen the picture and used it in memes, but I don't remember.
Yeah, but Horns, he was fucking great. Like, Horns was really good. And I didn't picture him with a fucking wand in that movie. So, again, like, it's... You see these actors stretch themselves a bit. Like, obviously, I know there's certain actors that get typecasted and they're always the same person in every single fucking movie. Like, that happens with a few people. I don't feel like it happens with Robert Pattinson. What's that? Fuck, man. He did a movie with Tom Holland. Devil in the... I think it's called The Devil in the House or something like that. Man, Robert Pattinson is... He plays the role of, like, almost a pedophilic pastor.
Okay.
And, man, does he fucking knock that role out the park, too. Southern accent and all.
Was it a recent movie or no?
Yeah, it's like in the last year or two. 2 years ago, I think. I think it's 2020. But man, it is. Yeah, and Tom Holland also in that movie, fucking great. And Tom Holland also with the Southern accent in that. Again, and you're talking about these, you know, UK guys that carry an accent really well. But man, a lot of people don't give Robert Pattinson the credit he deserves for his acting ability. That's why I was like, I'm all in. Just like I was all in with Jared Leto as Joker. It's just, you know, production companies messed that all up.
He can only do so much, and, you know, I guess, yeah, but overall, Pumpkinhead was given an 8 out of 10 from Randall.
Yep.
And a 7.5 out of 10 from me.
Yeah.
So, definitely, it's a cult classic. It's, you know, it's been in the Fangoria list. several times.
It's been on a lot of lists.
So
it's on a lot of those must-watch kind of lists.
Oh, yeah. Movies you've never watched.
Yeah, movies you never watched and stuff like that, because it's out there and people just. I think for me, like I said, what put me off was the name, along with the imagery that I put into my head with the name. Because as soon as I read Pumpkinhead, the first thing that came to my mind was, a giant thing with a pumpkin head.
Yeah.
Like that's what I figured.
Yeah.
I didn't think demonic thing that lives in a pumpkin fucking patch.
No, exactly. So also too, if you're a comic book reader, their Dark Horse did come out with a. Well, it was supposed to be a four miniseries issue, and only 2 out of the 4 were released. I think I have 1 or 2.
If you're a Pumpkinhead collector, I would say seek it out. If you're just gonna read, don't.
Excuse me.
Don't.
Well, if you're if you're a Pumpkinhead collector, if you're out,
there's a lot of good Hellraiser ones.
Yeah,
there's a lot of Hellraiser.
If you want
ones.
to find out the Pumpkinhead comic book, sure, go for it. So I just found I thought it was interesting.
You know which ones I've been getting is Hatchet.
There's a Hatchet comic book? No way.
Yeah.
Fucking Victor Crowley. That's another movie we have to watch.
Victor Crowley's so dope.
And we gotta review that.
And the fact that it's fucking Kane Hodder.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Kane Hodder plays Crowley.
Nice.
Yeah, and he does that shit a lot more menacing than Jason. Like, Jason's a menacing motherfucker.
No, but this
But man, Victor Crowley don't play, man. Like, that dude bolts.
Yeah, the way he kills. There's one scene, I forgot which one. He opens up the lady's mouth. And
yeah. Oh, my God.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, we leave you with that. It is 4:32 in the morning. Stayed late longer than what I expected.
3 back-to-back fucking reviews of 4 movies.
Yeah,
and plus a philosophical breakdown of
philosophical horror hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. PHH. Thank you, Ellie, for sticking this long. Like,
oh God, the phrasing there. Thank you, Ellie, for sticking around.
For sticking this long. This long what? Well, you know what I meant.
This is the talks of 4:30 in the morning. Ellie, thank you very much. Love you, and anybody who watches this after the fact, please give us the follow if you don't already. Share it with your friends, share it with people, and let them know that we're watching a bunch of crazy fucking movies to have fun with and talk shit about.
Yeah, especially if you're not big into horror. Eventually we'll, like I said, do non-horror movies. But if you know somebody that likes horror movies, definitely bring them around. Like, look what I found, these Ram Film Review guys. They seem like pretty cool guys,
Yeah, Ram After Hours.
Ram After Hours.
Yeah, I mean, usually that's when it happens.
It's when you wake up at 3 a.m., instead of the Girls Gone Wild, you see us. Or instead of the BET music videos, you see Ram Film
Oh my
Reviews.
God, I remember, like, one of the videos that you see mostly during that is Ludacris's Pussy Poppin'.
Oh my God.
That music video was literally on repeat on BET's After Hours.
Bro, the one I remember was the 504 Boys, Wobble Wobble.
Oh yeah, that one too.
That music video to this day, it's beautiful. I love it. Yeah. So, but yeah, follow us. Like I said, look up our Linktree link. Click on it. There's several pages. Like I said, our voting site for you, the fan, you, the viewer, can interact with us and let us know what you want us to review.
Yeah.
Like I said, DM us, leave us comments, what you think of our reviews. If we missed something, if we need to work on something, our hand gestures, talk about, be more confident, whatnot, speak less, the time frame. I know we go overboard.
We absolutely
we know this, but it's just
we're fully aware that attention span nowadays is terrible, and we're probably talking way past attention span for the regular human. But me and Mac are not regular humans when it comes to talking movies.
Yeah, exactly. And Ellie, of
course, then there's also
you're not
non-regular humans like Ellie as well who stick around thugh the whole thing.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, just share like I said, that's all we ask. If you can, doesn't cost anything. Let me see. Like I said, if you come across any movies, anything weird, any fuckery, thanks
Iris,
to Iris,
Iris, the fuckery.
the trademark by Iris.
Yeah.
Let us know. It could be in Spanish, any other foreign language. We'll look up the subtitles. If we use subtitles, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I'm okay with subtitles.
Like I said, Ellie said Asian horror. I know we're definitely talking about. We've been talking about doing that, getting into that more. I know I have a few.
Like an Asian horror.
Psychological thrillers, but horror, I don't really think I own some. But thank you again if you do stick around. I know it gets super lengthy, and we keep talking. We should have ended right now, but we just want to add a few more words that we love you.
Yeah, no, it just keeps on going, and mentioning like different like styles, like you talk about. So Asian horror, psychological thrillers and stuff like that. We definitely have to do like a season where we just do, and I know this is me being the bush of my favorite thing, but we have to do Giallo. Like we have to jump into like just more Argento and more Fulci and more Bava. Because there's so many good fucking Giallo movies. But Giallos are, they land in that psychological horror thriller, not really like,
that's fine.
Not Pumpkinhead horror,
That's fine, yeah. We know how to do it. I mean, just movies that, like I said, I have a stack of, and I just put them on the list for people to vote.
Yeah, we'll definitely do like a Giallo list. Then we'll eventually do like a psychological list. We'll do Asian lists. Like we'll do those lists for each genre of like style horror. We'll get creative with it, and you guys can follow along with us and just enjoy the fun.
We're gonna update our.
Try and find something that'll scare the living shit out of me.
Yeah, please.
Because I need adrenaline pumping. I love it. Like as much as I am the person who, when that moment's coming and I feel it, I'm like pause. I get up. I'm like, okay. This guy's about to fucking get it. Oh, fuck. He's about to die. Fuck. Alright, hold on. Oh, shit, he got it. Like, that's literally how I am when I'm watching movies at home. And I want Mac to experience this because he has not seen this yet. And it happens. It does happen. Where I'm like, it's about to fucking go down. And I do that pause, break, hesitate.
Getting himself ready for that.
Yeah, I get prepared for moments like that. That is the only default or the problem with like having the power in your hands to pause. Because if we were in a movie theater, like when I first saw like the new Pennywise, that one had some jump scares.
Yeah,
it caught me a couple of times. Like fuck, I would have paused it right there.
Yeah,
like I get that, but I love it.
That's different. I just go through with it,
Yeah.
No rubber gloves,
I mean, Pumpkinhead caught me today.
It did?
Yeah.
What scene?
See,
this is the thing we do. We just keep going.
The dog. The dog scene where they're in the cabin, right? Wasn't it?
Where he senses.
Wasn't it? Damn it! When was it? There was a scene that caught me in this one. I know it caught me. Because this was the only movie we watched today, right?
What?
What else did we watch today?
We did watch it. We watched Beyond Darkness. Beyond Darkness.
Oh, is that the one that caught me? No, that one didn't catch me.
Yeah, the ending. The coffin.
Oh, but yeah, no, but it was not that. It wasn't that. I know the ending of that caught me. There's something else. Either way, whatever. We're gonna go ahead and.
All right, Ellie said we're Hispanic, so this is the way we say goodbye. Yeah, it's like we're at a party. We're saying goodbye to the family.
Lo último de la fiesta.
We're saying goodbye in the family, so the kids are happy. We're gonna go home, and then you're saying goodbye, and then you just bring up a question, and we stay there another hour or two. So
there was something that caught me on Pumpkinhead. I'm gonna be dying to remember what it was.
Not sure.
I think there was a scene where like Gypsy like jumped out of something to like jump onto one of the guys, or something like that.
When they attacked Hendrix or whatever. Remember the bite arm? Maybe it was that.
I think it was around that scene because at that point, they were already with Lance Henriksen, and the dog was there with them. And I think like one of the kids was there, and they're near the window. You're hearing the wind and all that kind of shit, and all of a sudden the dog comes out of nowhere and just like gets on his lap, and he starts petting the dog. But that moment, because they did that sound effect.
Oh yeah, the kid. Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember I reacted to it. I was like, oh, I would have punched the dog. I mean, I love dogs, but at that moment.
Yeah, like the timing and everything, and then the other thing that we pointed out was sound effects and how much it plays a role with how they use sounds with a moment.
Ooh. So, yeah, Armando, so when Pumpkinhead was like walking about in the forest, woods, or whatever, he would go like, he would imitate the from Friday the 13th. But I noticed every time Pumpkinhead shows up, there's like a rattling sound, like a snake rattling sound.
Yeah.
Which is unique. I was like, all right, they made their own thing. So yeah, if you watch the movie, pay attention to that.
Yeah.
It has his own little theme song.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting to find out. Like, let's say with Jason, wasn't it like it was like the sound engineer or something like that. Somebody who was it that came up with the?
I'm not sure.
It was somebody. It wasn't like the director. I think it was like somebody off camera that was like either handling sound or something like that. I forgot what it was. There's a story to that. To how that got created. There's some detail to that I can't remember right now, but it was one of those interesting like little fun facts that it just kind of happened and it went well and they were like, fuck it, let's just do it. It was one of those, like, it wasn't written into it, like it wasn't part of the original script. So because it happened in the first one too, right?
Well, there's speculation. Well, I mean, I don't know speculation. But I know it's the and then there's the kill, mom, mom.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it starts expanding, but the regular, just the thought of the sounds itself, it was already in the first movie, and the first movie isn't even with fucking Jason. So sorry, spoilers, whatever. I don't give a fuck at this time.
Well, if you haven't watched Friday the 13th,
if you don't know that, then
maybe watch Scream. They'll tell you in the beginning.
Or just go watch fucking SpongeBob while you're at it.
There's nothing wrong with SpongeBob. I love that.
I'm not saying it's wrong.
See.
I'm just saying if you haven't seen Friday the 13th, you have problems.
Okay, so Ellie says at first movie it was kill, but then it became the sound later.
Yeah. At first,
so it went from kill to
yeah,
kill-cha.
Ka-chow.
Ka-chow.
All right. Anyway, let's go. So thank you again for everyone who joined. Share, follow, and let us know what you think. And we're gonna be back with a lot more movies. We have a lot more in the fan selection. It's gonna continue being voted on. We're gonna remove Pumpkinhead from the list, and the rest will remain. And
fresh new start.
Yeah, we'll keep going with it. But please join us more and hang out with us here. And if you're watching this later on, hit that little heart button, like the video, and comment. Let us know what you think. All right.
With that said, this is Randall Mack. We are Ram Film Reviews. Love you guys.
Jesus, that was long.